Hi, Jerome. Thank you so much for the encouraging message on the Owen Francis podcast. I'm really chuffed. It's the first response that I've got since I've started getting involved with podcasts. So I'm proper chuffed. I really appreciate that you take the time and effort to send me a message. It's very encouraging. And I've made it a point to follow your podcast as well. Thank you so much, sir. Stay blessed.
Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
One of the greatest lessons I ever learned while living with the Burmese monks is that nothing, and I mean nothing, is permanent. Nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. They taught me about impermanence. That life consists of impermanent nature. Nothing is permanent. Think about this in your life. Nothing is permanent. Wealth is not permanent, but neither is poverty. Health may not be permanent, but neither is sickness. Motivation may not be permanent, but neither is boredom. In your life, you will have up days and down days. The up days may not be permanent, but neither are the down days. Good times may not be permanent, but neither will bad times. Hot is not permanent. Cold is not permanent. Nothing is permanent. Look around you. Look around you at the objects that are around you and realize that none of these objects are permanent. Years from now, these objects may deteriorate and decay. They may dissolve, just like us. We will all eventually perish. But it doesn't have to be a frightening thought or a disheartening one, because remember, nothing is permanent. Look outside at the wonderful nature. Appreciate it. Be grateful for it, because nothing is permanent. Take a deep breath. Release. Be thankful for that breath, because nothing is permanent. Understand that your loved ones would like to hear you. Perhaps it's been a long while since you talked to someone in your family today, or a longtime friend. Give them a call. Share a kind word, because nothing is permanent. You may have a pet. You love your pet to life. And you appreciate all the moments that you have shared with your loved one or anything or anyone close to you. But you must understand that nothing is permanent. Use this as a positive in your life, letting you know that life is precious. Time is precious. All these things around us are precious because nothing is permanent. Now think, what if things were permanent? Just imagine. What if no one ever died? A world full of vampires or eternal beings that just lived on and on and on. Can you guess what comes next? You would not exist. That's right. You would never come into being on this earth. You would not be listening to this podcast, which is also not permanent. You would not be able to appreciate all these things which are not permanent. But it is because nothing is permanent that you are here. It is because of impermanence that you are alive. It is because nothing is permanent that we get to spend time on this wonderful planet. Just for a time, just in transit, just in passing, to be able to impact each other for better or worse, for good or bad. There are so many experiences to be had and to be shared. Because, my friend, there is joy in knowing that nothing is permanent. Thank you for listening to Jerome Shaw on TOP, that is the Open Palm Podcast, here in Lake Elsinore, California. The Open Palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. My friend, I pray that you received a special message from this episode today, knowing that even though nothing is permanent, we can appreciate this fact. We can appreciate this lesson. Share this episode with someone who deserves to hear it. A like-minded soul who is like you, learning and growing and becoming their greatest version while they're here on this wonderful planet. Definitely pay it forward, because I believe messages like this aren't heard often enough. People have asked how they can support the podcast. Well, you can definitely support by becoming a supporter, opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw, and supporting the podcast there is much appreciated. You can also become a patron at patreon.com/Jerome Shaw, where you'll find exclusive content I do not post anywhere else. And as always, have a blessed day or night, wherever you are, my friend. Take care.